A Muslim is somebody who follows the Islam religion. Islam is a religious system that began in the 7th century by Muhammad. Muslims follow the teachings of the Quran, which is their Bible, and they strive to keep the 5 pillars. The first pillar is the pillar of testimony of faith. It's the most important one. The next one is prayer, then supporting the needy, fasting the month of Ramadan, and the pilgrimage of Mecca. Muslims' entrance into paradise relies on their obedience to the 5 pillars. Still, Allah could reject them. Islam is the dominant religion in the Middle East, North Africa, and Sahel, Central Asia, Indonesia, and some parts of Asia. 13% of Muslims live in Indonesia, the largest Muslim majority country. 31% live in South Asia, the largest population of Muslims in the world, and 23% are in the Middle Eastern North Africa. 15% are in the sub-Saharan Africa. There is an estimated 1.6 billion Muslims worldwide. In this documentary, I'm going to talk about how 9/11 sparked a lot of hate towards Muslims and how they're discriminated through their workplace, job economy, their culture, and how they're victims from hate crimes. Within days of the attacks, many had found a conventional scapegoat: Muslims, Arabs, and anyone who remotely resembled the terrorists seen on TV that day. Whether in feature, dress, or accent, they became targets of retaliation. The stereotyping exists to this day. Muslims are being blamed and get unfair judgment just because of 9/11. After 9/11, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission saw a 250% increase in cases of religion-based discrimination against Muslims. The percent keeps going up, and people blame Muslims for 9/11 by discriminating against them. It's not clear how anti-Muslim workplace discrimination will evolve under President Trump's administration. There is a huge worry that Trump won't help to make things better for them. Since 2002, Muslims continue to make up a huge amount of the Commission's religion-based discrimination charges, hovering over 20%. The percent goes up for Muslims because of their religion they are discriminated on. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission looked to further take on discrimination against Muslims in the workplace under President Obama. The EEOC made up an enforcement plan in 2017 to 2021. The emerging issue of anti-Muslim discrimination is in the plan. A hijab is often worn by Muslim women as a symbol of modesty and privacy. Since 9/11, hundreds of lawsuits have been filed over the right to wear hijabs in the workplace and in photo IDs. There are also refusals by schools and employers to allow women to wear the hijab headscarf. The Religious Freedom Restoration Act provides additional protection at the federal level by barring the federal government and its officials from restricting women's ability to practice hijab. A mosque is a Muslim place of worship. There have been many incidents of people vandalizing mosques and physical attacks on Muslims. By contrast, crimes perpetrated against other religious groups more often involve property offenses such as vandalism or theft. For example, 64% of anti-Jewish and 51% of anti-Catholic offenses in 2015 involved vandalism, compared with just 23% of anti-Muslim offenses, 71% of which are crimes against people as opposed to property. People physically harm Muslims more than any other religious group in the world. The trend has alarmed hate crime scholars and law enforcement officials who have documented hundreds of attacks, including arson at mosques, assaults, shootings, and threats of violence since the beginning of 2015. There were 91 reported aggravated or simple assaults motivated by anti-Muslim bias in 2015. In 2001, there were 91, and from 2001 to 2005, that has the highest number of Muslim crimes. Murbarak says that young Muslim Americans who grew up here are not facing the kinds of identity crises that their parents did. Time hasn't made the world more accepting, and Muslims want to show their culture and not hide it anymore. Many of those parents abandoned their Islamic culture identities to blend into American society. They felt the need to hide because they were discriminated. They wanted to fit in with Americans and not be judged for their religion. Many young Muslim Americans are embracing their Muslim heritage. Young Muslim Americans are connecting with their Islamic heritage and embracing a religious culture many of them had known only secondhand. After 9/11, it was very difficult to embrace Muslim heritage. We're seeing many young Muslim women wearing the hijab whose mothers didn't wear it, says Haida Murbach, former president of the Muslim Students Association. These kids are comfortable in their American identity because it's the only culture they've known, so it's easier for them to embrace the outward manifestation of Islam. Can you tell me a little about your religion?
Okay, so most people, I feel like, maybe know that I'm Muslim, but maybe some don't. But I'm Muslim, and I know you're probably thinking, like, it's weird that I don't have, like, a shawl on my face or I'm, like, covered or anything, but there's, like, a difference. There's, like, European Muslims from, like, Yugoslavia, and then, never mind, from Yugoslavia, or there's, like, Middle Eastern, and I'm, like, from Albania. We don't, like, nobody covers themselves except, like, grandmas, and, you know, that's just not a thing anymore. But, yeah, I'm Muslim. We have Ramadan every year. It comes 12 days earlier every single year. This year it's in 2 weeks, I think. It's May 10th today, 9th, I don't know. Yeah, and yeah, that comes in 2 weeks, and basically it's you wake up in like the middle of the night. You cannot eat during the day. If the sun is out, you can't eat. So you wake up like at night, like 30 minutes before the sun comes out, and you eat literally as much as you can, and you don't eat or drink water for that whole day. You can't like kiss anyone or do anything that's like sinful, or it's not considered a day.
Okay, have you ever experienced any discrimination because you're Muslim?
When I was younger, yeah, it wasn't like directly, it was kind of indirect, but it was still kind of annoying because people would make jokes about it all the time, but I'm over it now.
Okay, and have you ever felt offended by the stereotypes given to Muslims?
Yeah, I think it's really annoying. I just saw a video on Twitter, and like some lady was freaking out on some other lady for being Muslim for no reason, and I hate that stuff because most Muslims are actually like really peaceful and like loving people. It's just those Al-Qaeda, whatever, ISIS people, they're not even Muslim. Like they have like a different book and they have different beliefs.
Okay, good. And how does it make you feel that there are terrorists using your religion to justify their actions?
I hate it because I feel like everyone blames Muslims for everything, but like I said again, it's not the actual Muslims. Like Muslims, first of all, like are very like innocent people. Anything you do is a sin. Like literally anything you do is a sin. But most people don't follow it that way. But like that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it says it in the Quran and everything. So the Al-Qaeda.
What is the Quran? It's like a Bible.
It's like the book. It's like a Bible, and yeah, in the Bible our Quran, it literally says if you kill a spider, it's like a sin. So like imagine like killing a person is just not like realistic. Mm-hmm. It's those people are like out of their minds. They're not Muslim. Like Muslims don't even consider them Muslim.
Okay. And last question, how do you think we can change the treatment and how we view Muslims?
I think honestly, I feel like it might get better, but I really don't think it will because I don't know, I feel like it's just like a stereotype that everyone's going to keep following. But I think if people actually knew like how Muslims were, and obviously there's going to be people that don't understand, but like I'm being like 100%, it is just not like that at all. And I wish more people like knew that, but they're not going to be open to it because
so like educating people would help.
Yeah, for sure, because that's not how it is. That's like killing people and being ISIS and whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that's not what Muslims are at all.
That's not how it is at all, actually. Yeah. People are just like closed-minded and they think anything they see on social media is the truth, and it's not.
You're right. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I believe that the best way to end anti-Muslim discrimination is to educate people on who Muslims really are and what they believe in, and to teach them to not associate them with terrorist groups.